Hey guys, Shane with Dazzy Integrations again, back for another edition of Give It To Me Straight. Today I want to talk briefly about physical security as it relates to your network and server infrastructure. You've probably heard a lot of talk around network security and server security as well as cyber security, but probably not a whole lot of discussion around physical security. So what do we mean by that? A lot of times when we go into small and medium-sized businesses and we ask, where do you keep your network equipment, your server equipment? 7 times out of 10, they take us to a closet that's at the end of the hallway that's used for storage and for supplies, and they've got their server and networking equipment either set on a shelf, a cheap shelf that's bolted to the wall, or it's sitting on the floor. So why is that important? Well, two reasons. One, you don't really have physical control over who has access to that area. So whether someone intentionally or unintentionally goes in and accidentally shuts the server off or maliciously does something, you have no control over who does that. So we want to see, in an ideal scenario, we want to have your server and your network equipment in a locked area that has plenty of room that's not multi-use. The other thing is we see a lot of times that they're in a closet with mop buckets. So you've got water and things like that that are coming in there. Electronics are very sensitive to those type of things. They're also sensitive to dust. So those two things are of extreme concern when we see that in a storage closet. So make sure it's in a physical location that you can control access to and doesn't have hazardous materials or access right around it. So the second piece of that is that we want to make sure that it is physically secured to the wall or to the floor. Why is that important? Well, we actually had a client not too long ago that had a phone system that was set on a shelf that they'd basically gone and gotten 90-degree L's from Lowe's, put a piece of board on it, and bolted that up against the wall, and everything sat on top of that. Very cheap shelf, serves the purpose for most storage closets. However, they had their phone system sitting on top of this, and when the phone company came in to do some work on the lines, the guy on the ladder accidentally hit it with his elbow when he was coming down the ladder. It knocked their phone system off the shelf, knocked the shelf down. They had a $10,000 phone system that was busted in a matter of about 10 seconds, all because it was not physically secured to the wall. Physically secured to the wall means using a rack or some type of mounting bracket that screws the server and networking equipment to the bracket, and the bracket itself is screwed to the wall. You can also use a floor mount cabinet or rack, but that's if you have a lot, or at least a little more equipment than just a few pieces. In either scenario, you want to make sure that you are physically securing that equipment to the wall or to the floor so that it doesn't get knocked off, doesn't get moved around, doesn't become unplugged, those type of things. So please, when you get done watching this video, go to where your server and networking equipment is and take a fair and honest assessment. How secure is it physically? Can someone accidentally go in and bump a power switch or unplug something? Can someone actually spill water from that mop bucket? And can things be knocked off the shelf fairly easily? If so, take those measures to improve that today. If you have any questions, certainly let us know, but we appreciate you tuning in to Give It To Me Straight.